Barbara Allison Bisbee. I was born in a little nook on the Wisconsin River, Sauk City, and I feel very in tune with nature, with being a human being that is part of the environment. I did not learn to read like other kids. In 3rd grade, I taught myself to read using comic books. I am dyslexic. I continue to be dyslexic both with numbers and words all my life. But I believe comic books provide an alternative portal into our minds to help us understand each other. So that's what my writings are about. And that's why sometimes when I write a novel, I also illustrate it, because I want to help you use your imagination and your life experiences to reach into the characters of my novels and understand yourself better. I'm also a tarot reader. I've read for 45 years. And I would love to tell you a little bit about why I'm good at what I do, both as a writer, an illustrator, and a tarot reader. Gaia's Prodigal Children trilogy contains Fairy Hope, Gaia Weeps, and Gaia's Spirit Embraces. This book stimulates the reader with intrigue, beauty, and humor, wrapped within illustrations, heroic characters, and foibles inhabiting all species of existence. Fairy King Oberon works to lead the planet Gaia's inhabitants to survive parching soils and flooding coasts. He reveals innovative technology beyond what we now can conceive or understand. It is because he is beguiled by planet Gaia's human-like inhabitants' ability to love. Greedy King Leonoric of the Leprechauns uses illusion magic to seduce Queen Titania. As the two kings make a bet securing the future of Queen Titania, she chooses her own fate. She becomes entangled in the life of a human whose struggle is her own. At the same time, Gaia's peoples are confronted by their own fate, while struggling with the emotions of greed and humiliation, sharing and caring. A Great Transformation, akin the Wisdom Tree, is about us as a social species, our evolvement as a social group of people. Who are we? We don't really know who we are. We omit our spiritual connections within the shortcomings of a world constantly in flux, precluding emotional security. Let's be real about our shortcomings, our social evolution, and who we really are. Let's face the fact that our greatest evolutionary tools are understanding that we are part of nature and how much we have in common with the trees. For instance, we both breathe. If we can face our shortcomings, we can all work together to share and care and make a better environment. We accomplish this with a fair and just legal system binding us together. The book examines where diverse special interest systems of government and dictatorships are leading us for survival as a species. There are multiple examinations of alternative attitudes toward one another. As a tarot reader, I offer to you not only insight into yourself, but insight into what you want out of life. All of us in life want the 10 of Cups. We want to feel loved. We want to know generosity, trustworthiness, loyalty, kindness, sharing, friendship, hope. These are qualities that come when you have a good family or a good circle of friends. Let's be honest, not all families give us these things, but this is what we want. And I see each of us as a cup. We are a vessel. And the energy that we give out is represented by the water flowing out, and the hods, the Kabbalah, Egyptian hods, refill our cup, so what we put out comes back to us. The bird represents our spirituality, which should be directing our lives. And the wafer represents forgiveness. If you cannot forgive yourself, you can never forgive another. And then you wake up every morning carrying a sack of rocks around. You don't want that for yourself. What you want for yourself, when you have a reading for me is you want to know that you are in charge of your life. You are the leaders. And in order to do that, I give you 2 readings. The first reading is literally about your personality. How do you process life? And what's interesting is there's different ways to process life. Some people process life by doing. Other people like to feel like they're an expert before they can do anything. Other people have a very keen mind, a quick grasp of things. Other people approach life strategically. How can I do X to get Y? The lucky people in life are able to talk between their conscious and subconscious, and that's the fluid going between the 2 cups. Are you able to acknowledge your feminine as well as masculine traits? Do you know your own interests? These are all forms of wisdom. Probably the greatest form of wisdom is the Empress. She loves nurturing all around her. Her love enables you to develop. Another form of intelligence and ability is some people are natural healers. They heal themselves and others. And finally, are you able to accept change? Transformation is what Earth life is about. Now, we have these traits, and then you get a second reading, and that's about your current life. It's about the Celtic traditional reading that everybody gets and knows. And you begin. Are you in control of your traits? That's the charioteer. That means, do you avoid drugs and alcohol, or do you embrace them? Do you feel that you know how to master them? What you want to be able to do is to be able to reach towards your spiritual self to help guide you in your life and break your destructive habits. If you're overconfident about having bad habits, you're not facing who you are. So ask your spiritual self to help you. Between the 2 readings, you should come upon your wisdom. Don't just believe what other people tell you or the media tells you. They're appealing to your imagination and your ego. You need to believe in who you are, and that's why the first reading is so important. It talks about your traits, how you perceive and process reality. There's your wisdom. And by having both readings, many people are able to break destructive habits. What makes me an insightful reader is that I have life experience, compassion, and intuition. These are called hidden influences. As I emerged from late adolescence, going into early adulthood, my own psyche imploded. I was engaged to be married. My fiancé killed himself. Unknown to me, he had become involved in a web of emotional intrigue separate from our relationship, and he was too young and naive to be able to sort it out. His cousin helped me find my own strength and put my life back together. Then, for many years afterwards, his cousin would call me to tell me I was okay and ask what I was up to. Truthfully, it has taken me years, scores of years, to put my psyche back together, to rebuild myself, so I'm just like you. Herein I developed great compassion for others. I also learned we need one another to help us get through life. Our lives are mysterious. I didn't begin reading until I was nearly 30 years old, and now I've been reading for scores of years. I offer you 2 readings, both very different, one about who you are, so that you can take stock of yourself and decide if you need to continue doing things the way you're doing them, or if you're unhappy, you can decide, I need to change how I do things because I'm not paying attention to who I am. Regardless, you'll always feel good after having a tarot reading with me. I give tarot readings at Driftless Market in Platteville, Wisconsin on every other Saturday, and you can call them. Also at Driftless Market, I sell my books, A Great Transformation, A Kid in the Wisdom Tree, and I sell Gaia's Prodigal Children with Fairy Hope, Gaia Weeps, and Gaia's Spirit Embraces. At the store Elements on Main Street in Platteville, I also sell my books. I hope you're having a wonderful life. And if I can add to your life, read my books.